Hey kiddos, if you're watching this means I'm working virtually today, but I should be back tomorrow. So we're gonna take notes together this way in the pre-recorded video, but I am available for Google Meets. Our link will be posted in the classroom if you need to pop on and ask a question or something. Also, you can email me. But we're gonna be taking notes today this way. So I know a lot of you made a good chunk of progress or some of you made a good chunk of progress on the assignment on Friday. So this is just some formalized notes. I do ask that you follow along with me for the notes, even if you did get a good chunk done, because semester exams are coming up in January. I know we forget a lot, so if we have these notes, it'll be a really big help come then. So also take these notes, please and thank you, and I will be checking for them in a binder check here soon. But if you do already get this assignment done, things I covered in this video, I will be posting another video moving on to some other learning targets and also an extra credit assignment video. So this one should be pretty quick and simple. So I'm going to entitle our notes for today Matrix Bootcamp because we are going to be covering 3 learning targets in about the next 10 minutes or so. Matrices, they are pretty easy to work with, and once you're introduced to it, you catch on pretty quick. But as always, if you have questions, please reach out and let me know. So our first learning target has 2 parts. It is identifying dimensions and elements in a matrix. Identifying dimensions and elements in a matrix. If at any point in time you need to pause the video to get caught back up in copying something, please do. But the first thing we're going to talk about is dimensions. So dimensions is essentially like telling someone how big the matrix is. So matrices are just ways of organizing information. So I'm sure you've seen them on our bell work, the questions that we always skip. They're like really big brackets and they'd have numbers in them. 4, -6, 7, and 9. So this is a matrix that we're going to be working with, and dimensions of matrices, they are given in bracket form, with the first thing being the row, and then it's going to be a little X, which means by, and then column. So row by column. Let's see. This also might be referred to as the order of a matrix instead of its dimensions, but it means the same thing. So when we're dealing with matrices, what we are looking at is rows and columns. So rows are going to be from left to right. So this is going to be row 1. And this is going to be row 2. And then columns are up and down. So this is column 1. This is column 2. I'll just abbreviate with the C. This is column 3. And this is column 4. So if we wanted to give the dimensions of this matrix, we'd have our little brackets, and we have 1, 2 rows, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4 columns. So the dimensions of this matrix would be 2 by 4. Okay, so I recommend counting out your rows first. Rows, remember, go this way, left to right. So 1, 2, that number comes first. And then how many up and down rows you have, how many up and down columns you have is the second number. So we have 4. That's essentially all dimensions is. You're just looking to see how many rows, how many columns, and put them together in a bracket. And there you go. So I will, after I go through the notes, I will pull up the assignment on Delta Math and show you how to do it on there. And I don't know if I mentioned this earlier in the video or not. I can't remember, but I can tell who watches the video and who does not. I can also tell how many seconds of the video you watched, whether you watched 15 or you watched the whole thing. So please do what you're supposed to do, even though I'm not there today. Okay. So after we do dimensions, the next thing we want to identify is elements. So elements refer to each individual number that is in the matrix. So let's say we have a different matrix. So we're going to have 1, 7, 8, -9, -0, -10, 2, 4, 3, 1, 7, -8, -3, 1, and 4. Okay. So we're going to have this matrix, and we're going to let this matrix be called C. So all of these numbers equal matrix C. And we want to find element C24. So we want to find element C24. So I know that looks rather confusing, but I promise it's pretty simple once you break it down. So the first number is going to stand for what row the element is in. And the second number is going to stand for what column the element is in. So if we go over here, we want to do our rows first. So remember, rows go left to right. So this is row 1, row 2, and row 3. And then this is column 1, column 2, column 3, column 4, column 5. You always want to count left to right. So we want to look at row 2. So we're going to be looking at this row right here. And we want to find the element that's in the fourth column. So in the fourth column, in row 2, the number in the fourth column is 3. So C24 is going to equal 3. So if we wanted to find like C32, we would look in row 3, column 2, and C32 is going to equal -8. So that's also pretty simple. We're just looking at our matrix C, looking at our rows column, and what number falls in the correct spot. Okay, and then our second learning target is we're going to add and subtract matrices. So we want to add and subtract matrices. So let's say we have matrix A, which is going to equal -5, 1, 2, 2, and 4, -4, -3, -3. Then we also have matrix B, which is going to equal -2, -5, -2, 3, and 0, -4, 2, and -4. So the first thing you're going to want to do if you're adding or subtracting matrices is check the dimensions of both matrices. So for matrix A, we have 2 rows, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4 columns. For matrix B, we have 1, 2, 2 rows, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4 columns. So it's very important when you are adding or subtracting that the 2 matrices that you are adding or subtracting have the same exact dimensions. You cannot add or subtract matrices that do not have the exact same dimensions. Okay, write that down on your paper. Pretty important. You cannot add or subtract matrices that do not have the same dimensions. So since these ones do have the same dimensions, that means our result is also going to be a 2 by 4 matrix. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we want to find, we'll do A plus B. We'll do A plus B first, but if we were doing subtraction, it'd work the exact same way. But make sure if you're doing A plus B or B plus A or A minus B or B minus A, that you're paying attention to which letter comes first. And also when you're dealing with negative signs, that you're not dropping those, not misadding, not mis-subtracting, okay? So the way adding works is we're just going to go element by element. So the first number in the first row, first column is going to be added to the number in the first row, first column in the other matrix. So we're going to have -5 plus -2. That's going to give us -7. 1 plus -5 is going to give me -4. 2 plus -2 is going to give me 0. And 2 plus 3 is going to give me 5. 4 plus 0 is 4. -4 plus -4 is -8. -3 plus 2 is going to give me -1. And -3 plus -4 is going to give me -7. Okay. Let's do, over here in the corner, we will do B minus A. So again, we're going to have the same dimensions, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So B minus A. -2 minus -5 is going to give me a +3. -5 minus 1 is going to give me a -6. -2 minus 2 is going to give me a -4. 3 minus 2 is going to give me 1. 0 minus 4 is going to give me -4. -4 minus -4 is going to give me 0. 2 minus -3 is going to give me 5. And -4 minus -3 is going to give me -1. Okay, so that is how you add and subtract matrices. The most important thing to remember is your dimensions have to be the exact same. Also, make sure you take your time and you're not missing signs, or when you're subtracting two negatives, you're not doing that incorrectly, because we do struggle with that. I'm going to go ahead and take this paper off the screen. Please pause the video if you've not gotten it all copied down. And we're going to do one more learning target in this video. And we are going to be working with, let's see. Oh, here we go. Our last learning target. Our last learning target is dealing with scalar multiplication. So scalar multiplication, that just means you're multiplying a whole matrix by one number on the outside. So for instance, if we are given the matrix B equals -7, 3, 2, and 1, and we want to find 6b. So we're given this matrix and we want to find 6b. You can essentially think of these matrices brackets as just big parentheses for this. So you're going to have 6 and -7, 3, 2, and 1. And then you're simply going to, you can think of it as distribute. You're going to have 6 times -7, which is going to give you -42. You're going to have 6 times 3, which could give you 18. 6 times 2 is going to give you 12, and 6 times 1 is going to give you 6. So that is how you would scalar multiply. So on your assignment in Delta Math, there isn't anything that just has scalar multiplication. It's dealing with addition and scalar multiplication. So you'll be given problems such as A equals -5, 4, 0, and -6. And B equals 0, -2, -7, -6. And it asks us to find A minus 3B. So the first thing we want to do is find that 3B. So we're going to have -5, 4, 0, -6. Minus, and then over here off to the side, I'll do 3 times 0, -2, -7, -6. 3 times 0 is going to give me 0. 3 times -2 is going to give me -6. 3 times -7 is going to give me -21. And 3 times -6 is going to give me -18. So now I'm ready to do my A minus B. Again, checking to see if those dimensions are the same. I have a 2 by 4, I have a 2 by 2 and a 2 by 2, so I am good to go there. I'm going to get a result matrix of a 2 by 2. So -5 minus 0 is going to give me -5. 4 minus -6 is going to give me 10. 0 minus -21 is going to give me a +21. And -6 minus -18 is going to give me a +12. And that is how you do scalar multiplication, as well as some extra practice with some addition. So this is 3 learning targets in one, but I don't think that they are too hard, and they each don't need their own day to cover. I think you all will be okay doing this. So make sure you take notes on this. Make sure you actually watch the video. And if you are still struggling, please, please, please write down, hit the show me an example button in Delta Math. copy down some extra examples into your notes, reach out to me via email or Google Meet. Be sure to check our Google Classroom. I should be back in class tomorrow. So I miss you guys. Hope you had a good weekend. Thank you to those of you that worked really hard on Friday for me and Miss Brownfield. I greatly, greatly appreciate it. But yeah, that's all I have for you today. Once this assignment is finished, if you're someone that is just copying down the notes, I will be posting the next learning targets in a different video as well. Alrighty. Thanks, guys. Talk to you later. Bye.